Do we always have the power to choose and reject? The state has offered us, the townspeople, to buy our properties at 95% of the fire insurance value after the town was hit by a series of earthquakes, lava flowing across the town limits, burning 3 houses and gaping cracks in the earth within town limits that have destroyed at least 60 homes. We would have a preemptive option for the next 3 years after the sale, meaning if someone bids for our property and the state approves that purchase, we have 15 days to repurchase the property ourselves. Before this offer materialized, it appeared that we had unlimited preemption rights on the property for the next few years, and there had never been any mention of this short notice to enter into a deal. Now, there are questions. Should we accept that the government buys us out and that we, in turn, rent an apartment somewhere over the next few years to own the money if someone offers to buy the property? Or should we tie the funds to another property, presumably meaning you would have to sell within 15 days to repurchase your own property if that situation occurred? We have no control over these situations, but we can control how we react to them. Let us consider this from various perspectives. Practical thoughts. If we don't sell our property, we will still have to pay the heating costs and mortgage loans. If we sell our property, we will be completely debt-free and have 2 options: rent or buy another property. If we buy a property, we will use the money we would otherwise have to repurchase our home. If we rent a property, we can put the money aside and eventually make a profit, but at an emotional cost. If we buy, we might not have enough time to enter an offer to purchase our old property and thus exercise our preemptive rights. But if we rent, we would have that time. Emotional thoughts. Whatever we choose to do will affect how we feel. But the big question must then be whether we can process these emotions or whether we should let them rule us. Should we control our feelings or allow emotions to lead us? Should we choose the situation, knowing the expected emotions that will disrupt our lives for a while, or a situation where the emotions will settle quickly? Ethical thoughts. We need to consider what is most important in our lives. Do we want to ensure that we have the opportunity to move back to our town, or should we give up that dream completely? If we buy another property, we will leave our old town and never return. But if we don't buy another property, we still have the opportunity to go back home. We need to assess whether we want to make a final decision or postpone it. We have a choice, but we are in an extremely challenging situation with a lot of uncertainty. We need to think through the problem. Is it so attractive to buy a property when people from our town are overbidding each other by huge amounts? Is it such a good idea if we lose the option of returning to our old home? We have limitations, advantages, and problems. The bottom line is that because only some things are evident, we need to think clearly about them and decide when our positions and reasoning are clear enough. When we face a complex choice, seeking advice from others, whether friends, family, or experts, can be helpful. Such advice can help us see different perspectives and lead us to better decisions. We must also consider which choice is best in the short term and which is best in the long term. If we let short-term thinking decide what we choose, we are likely to lose out on such decisions. But if we allow long-term thinking to determine what we choose, we can make a more rational decision. It can be challenging to understand when fear leads the way or reason. It is a fact that the ground in our town is breaking apart, that a massive flow of lava is running like a river underneath the city, and it is uncertain how long this situation will last. And it is a fact that the government is offering to buy our houses and that there are considerations from people involved about how to profit from this situation. Would it be best to be patient and wait for a while and see if it passes? Or go somewhere else, close this chapter in life and start over? That's the big question.